Good evening, Moon Princess here, and tonight we're going to talk about a true crime case. It has racism in it, and if you don't want to talk about police brutality, then don't watch this video. If you don't want to hear about it, find something else. It's okay. True crime's not everyone's jam, and certain issues people don't like to hear about. But I think you'll find it interesting. So, if you're still with me, let's get started. Alright, so, Amber Jackson is an African American woman who was assaulted by a police officer in May of 2020 during the height of the Black Lives Matter movement. She's a dental hygienist who was assaulted May 29th, 2020. And footage of the incident was recorded by Heather Uffen, a witness who says she just felt something wasn't right and felt inclined to get it on camera. She says, "It's not okay. This is the exact reason we're all protesting. She could have been easily the next George Floyd." Footage shows a female pulling away from a police officer, who then grabs them from behind, slamming the female to the ground. For a while, the camera is out of frame, but screaming from the victim can be heard. Next, the video shows the officer pulling her up by her arms. This was following them breaking her shoulder. So imagine how painful that must have been for Amber Jackson. They had her handcuffed by her arm. When approached by officers, Amber and acquaintances were heading away from somewhere by Lenox Square shopping mall, which is near the Buckhead neighborhood in Atlanta. They came to this location to protest for Black Lives Matter. But when they arrived, they felt uneasy and decided to leave. When they tried to do so, they found their exits had been blocked. Amber exited her car to move the barricade blocking her in, but quickly got back into the car when confronted by the officer. So clearly her gut instinct here was right. This is when she was dragged from her vehicle and the incident described took place. I also wanted to mention the officer engaged in name-calling as well, which is to me just like, why? Why? Unnecessary. According to Amber Jackson's lawyer, Mawali Davis, I just think it's important for people to understand the ramifications of this kind of violence against people, especially when they have not violated the law, he said. Even if you violate the law, there's a way to arrest someone without injury. That was absolutely excessive. She weighs about 130 pounds. To lift her up and body slam her like that is just, it was as if she had just robbed a bank or something. It makes no sense. Jackson and her lawyer, Davis, have been calling for termination of employment for the officer and prosecution for their unlawful and brutal actions. Their lawsuit against the officer and their use of excessive force based on their misconduct damages are being sought. The violent attack by the police officer against Amber caused serious physical damage, breaking her shoulder and clavicle and causing her to have to undergo surgery and putting her out of work. She works as a dental hygienist and was unable to perform her job after sustaining these injuries. This put a major financial strain on her. Without the citizen capturing video, this would have been swept up under the rug. According to Davis. Systemic problems were emphasized by this case and those brave enough to speak up and take action. Amber and her lawyers bring up an important point, that there is a pattern with authorities neglecting to fully, or just in general, investigate cases with excessive force, pointing this issue to failures on the part of the city to properly train officers. They plan on providing the information they've gathered to the DA's office. Officer claims regarding the incident. Police talk about dealing with widespread looting and property damage occurring in Buckhead, that some officers stopped a vehicle where a woman was attempting to remove a barricade, then said she refused to step out of the car. In police statements, they said the officer attempted to get her out of the car and the two struggled. They go on to say during her effort to resist the arrest, the officer had to force her to the ground to get her in handcuffs. Not only does that show no remorse for physical harm to a citizen, but shows rationalization and justification for police brutality, which was entirely unprovoked. Again, he shoved her to the ground with so much force, he broke her shoulder and fractured her clavicle. Why would anyone ever have to use force to such an extent? It's a lie. They don't have to. People in authority, those individuals often crave to, acting this type of way. And they're attracted to this job, and no one holds them accountable. This is what happens. This is my personal opinion. If you have a different one, feel free to put it in the comments. After the video of the incident was shared online, the officer involved was placed on administrative assignment, and police said his actions are being investigated by the department's Office of Professional Standards to determine if he violated any department procedures. There's a fucking video of what he did. You don't have to keep him on. Don't worry. He violated. Watch the video. But yeah, if you are curious and you haven't seen it, watch the video. It's pretty cut and dry. So basically he was still getting paid, which is bullshit. While police have released the body camera video, this was done belatedly. This video mainly shows the confrontation and the struggle, then the moment she was placed in the back of the vehicle. But there's also civilian footage of what really happened. Statements made by Davis at a press conference. He describes Jackson as a victim of police brutality. Our young people are courageously and correctly demanding an end to police brutality, are being brutalized in the street where it is their right to protect. We need a change in police culture. Davis joined his client, as did community activist Derek Bozeman, in calling the incident a case of police brutality. I hope you look at it, he said, because they're literally dragging this girl all over the place and throwing her down like a piece of trash. Bozeman added that her injury has also left her unable to work in her job as a dental hygienist, adding that costs of surgery have only exacerbated the situation. As a community, we have to help Amber get the surgery that she needs. She was there to fight for justice, and now we have to fight for her. She can't work, so we will do a fundraiser for her surgery and recovery. This incident happened just days before a violent arrest in Atlanta, where 2 college students were tased and detained by police. The incident, which was also captured on video, led to the firing of multiple officers, as well as charges from the Fulton County District Attorney's Office. Bozeman also spoke on this incident and said that the 6 officers involved in that arrest also had excessive force allegations against them previously, which happens a lot because there's no accountability. So when you don't deal with the bully in the schoolyard, what does the bully do? He continues to beat people up. And we're saying very clearly, our young people are not here for you to beat on. I second that. Anyways, I know this is a very short video, but I hope you got something out of it. Thanks so much for watching. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in my next one.